because I've got sent off on the camera.
Should be.
But your word.
That and Lisa talked.
Sorry.
All right. If everybody's ready, go ahead and turn your cell phones off, and then that way we won't have no alarms going on while we're getting ready to have our meeting. This time we'll call our meeting to order. Everyone will please rise, face the flag, we'll say our pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all for coming out. Appreciate everybody that's here tonight on a cold fall evening. In front of you, you have tonight's agenda, and we have done some modifications to it a little bit. If there are any additions or changes to our agenda, I'll entertain those ideas now.
I'm going to add a little bit to the manager report there about Krause Park, Mr. Mayor.
Krause Park, under the managers. Okay, has anybody else got anything they'd like to add? With that, I'll entertain a motion to accept tonight's agenda. Have a motion, do I have a second? All in favor, show of hands, please. 4-0, and it is 4-0. I do want to make mention that Councilwoman Millie Richardson will not be here tonight. She may be zooming in here in a few minutes to be part of this due to the COVID and the underlying health conditions that she has in her family. She deems it unsafe for her to come out and risk getting sick and taking those germs back to her family and whatnot. So she's going to be there, and we respect that decision wholeheartedly. And so it'll be us for you here tonight. We have in front of you the minutes from our regular meeting in October. And if anybody would like to make a motion to accept, we'll listen for that motion. Have a motion and a second. All in favor, show of hands for on those minutes. Okay, what we're going to do here before we get into the public comments is we have some special guests here, some all over we got one here at the BDC, Raleigh, and Nails, I guess you were in Raleigh too?
Yeah, right outside Raleigh, I live in Cary.
In Cary, well that counts too, so we welcome you guys. I'm going to turn it over to Ryan and let Ryan handle it from here on with you guys.
Oh, and now we have Dirk. Oh, we have
it.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, he's doing this audio.
I'm in Greensboro.
All right, did you get it thawed out?
Yes, I did.
Excellent. Mr. Mayor, the gentlemen tonight are joining us from the Office of State Budget Management. They're the team that is overseeing the recovery efforts from the earthquake on August 9th that occurred in county. All that I can say is a most superb team of gentlemen, absolutely have the interest of Allegheny County and the town of Sparta at heart. We have worked very closely over about the past 4 to 5 weeks to start that recovery effort. And without further ado, Dana, do you want to take it from there and then bounce off your team?
There we go. I'm sorry, I was muted there for a second. Thank you, Ryan, and thank you, Council, Mr. Mayor, for giving us the opportunity to introduce ourselves to the group tonight. I'm Dana Phillips. I'm the Senior Project Manager here on site. I've got an office in the Business Development Center, and I'm honored to be part of this team that's working on this recovery effort. Joining us tonight is the leadership of the OSB and disaster recovery, starting with Nels Roseland, Derwin, our Deputy Director and General Counsel, and also Rich, our Senior Construction Manager. So I'm going to turn it over to these guys and let them tell you about their roles and everything they're doing as part of this team. And again, I certainly appreciate all the hospitality that I've been shown by the folks of Allegheny County and the folks in the town of Sparta. It's been wonderful. I'm having a terrific experience up here, even in the wind and cold. And still, I'm loving it, and we're getting things done. And I'm proud to be part of this. So Nels, I'm going to turn it over to you and the rest of the team.
Well, thank you, Dana, and thank you, Mayor and Council. We appreciate so much the opportunity to be with you tonight. Our role came back in probably August 10th or 11th. I started getting emails and calls from Director Mike Sprayberry, the Emergency Management Director for the state, and other folks in the governor's office and my boss, the state budget office, the state budget director, who said we need a budget and we need the governor to work with the General Assembly to help Sparta, to help Allegheny County. And I've got a background in helping to prepare state level budgets for projects of this sort. And with my team, I'm very excited with Richard and Derwin and Dana now on board. I've got what I like to do is I can do the budget planning, helping with the General Assembly and the governor's team, but I like to hire real smart people, get out of the way. So you've met some of these folks. Richard Trumper is a licensed general contractor, has helped us in Eastern North Carolina on hurricane recovery work. Derwin Jones is an attorney, an accomplished attorney. He's our general counsel and assistant director, helps us navigate a myriad of legal issues and program issues. And Dana, I worked with for more than 10 years, and his construction management experience is also second to none. And so we're honored to be here, and we're happy to address any questions that the mayor, council, anyone involved tonight may have. And we're here to help, and anything you need, please let us know.
Thank you, Dale. Rich, you got something you want to say?
Mr. Mayor, thank you so much. No, I'm just going to mirror what Dana has said. You know, we're very excited to be there in town. Everybody from your staff through the folks over at the county and overall the population of Sparta has just welcomed us with open arms. You know, we've been up there just under a month, and I feel like I'm part of Sparta. And I hope that at the end of all this, you will consider us part of Sparta as we wind this program down in a year or two.
Absolutely. If you will, I would like for you guys to kind of talk about how your schedule is going to be up here. Let the council know what your hours are, what your days you're going to be here, those kind of things, if you will. Let them know when you're going to be available.
Certainly, I don't mind. I'll jump in on that. Right now, Mr. Mayor and Council, we're opening up shop by noon each Monday, and we're staying open till 5 o'clock, and then 8 to 5 Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and 8 to 12 on Fridays. That's going to be in place for probably another 2 weeks. We're excited that we're trying to bring on another full-time admin person. It should start on November 30th is what we're targeting, and in that case, we'll have coverage at the Sparta office from 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, with the exception of holidays. So give us another week and a half, 2 weeks. We're going to be here 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. So we're excited about that. Right now, I'm coming up most Monday mornings and staying at least through Wednesday through Thursday, most weeks, and you can stay on Friday. So I'm physically boots on ground 3 or 4 days a week. Rich is up here several days a week and comes as needed. And we've had Derwin up here a couple of times in the last week or two. So, and I'm sure Nels, as needed, will join us as well. So we've got strong coverage now, and it's only going to get better.
Well, I'll open it up and ask any of the council members now if you guys have any questions that you'd like to ask the team right now. If anybody has anything or any concerns. And so everybody seems to be okay with everything. And I know I have met with you guys on a couple different occasions and with Ryan and everything, and we seem to have everything going in the right direction. You've already started the process of helping people here in the town and in the county, and it is greatly appreciated. And you guys are really going to be work hard here in the next 18 months, I'm afraid. But is there anything else that you guys on your end that you'd like to throw out there as?
We're here to listen and to see what's important to you guys and the team there in Sparta. And so we're happy to help, and thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Dale. Appreciate you guys. And if you want to stay with us, you can. If you need to go do something else, though, we'll cut you out of here. Unless, Ryan, you got anything you want to add to them?
I just want to thank the team. Them being in county, as Danny said, boots on the ground, has provided, the town, a lot of direct assistance. They're not all, in Raleigh trying to manage a project. They're here seeing the damage, meeting with people, and that really has strengthened that recovery process already this far. So, I just want to thank that people.
On behalf of the council and the citizens of Sparta and Allegheny County, welcome and thank you guys for what you're going to do and what you're doing right now. We sincerely appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mayor.
We'll talk to you later. Have a good evening, guys. Have a good evening. Okay, so that is our group there that will be helping us. Many thanks to them, and they have been truly giving me and Ryan a lot of good information. We'll be sharing that with you down the road. The more that we get, the more that we'll give you guys and let you know where we're standing. At this time, I'm going to go ahead and open up the floor for public comments, and this is usually what we have for agenda items. People can come up and talk, but for tonight, we're going to put a couple of folks up here at the very front. And at the very first, I want to introduce Lisa Bodley. She's here to talk a little bit about the parade and some stuff going on. If you will, Lisa, appreciate it.
Good evening. Good to see everyone. Hope you don't mind me crashing your meeting. I just wanted to update you a little bit on what's going on over the holidays. As you all know, of course, this year has brought a lot of non-traditional events and non-traditional ways of thinking about things. So parade will look a little differently. I'm here on behalf of the Sparta Revitalization Committee. And wanted to let you know that we will have a parade on November 28th. This will look very different than in years past, of course. This is going to be a reverse parade, or what they call the floats will line up. They'll be lined up in Trojan Village Shopping Center and through the Village Park Event Center parking lots. And Bob Lane is going to be helping with traffic, and we will direct traffic through to look at the floats so people will be safely in their cars. We are still in phase 3 of the COVID-19 mandates that prohibit parades that won't even be looked at again until December 6th by the governor. Our parade, of course, will be held on November 28th, so we're still under those mandates. We're having to get creative. There's a lot of towns who are not even doing a parade at all, or have really cut down on their events considerably. The Susan Miles and SRC, Karen Lees, and all of us at the chamber wanted to do something. We wanted to keep the Christmas spirit alive, so we will be having a stationary parade. Again, that's where the floats line up. They'll be socially distanced. They have to stay within their groups and wear masks for each other's safety. The cars will drive through and view the floats. Santa will be there. And we hope that it's a successful event. We're taking registrations for the parade right now, and people can call the chamber and sign up for that. And also, to my knowledge, Sparta Lights still doing their event at the Krause Park, along with 2 events that Santa will be there for people to drive through and see him there, and the kids will have an opportunity to get out and do a socially distanced photograph. So there's, we're trying again to be very creative and keep everyone safe with the uptick in numbers all through North Carolina, actually all over the United States. So I just wanted to keep you updated on that. And any questions about the parade? I know it's unusual times, but please know that we have the community at heart when we plan these things.
And the Christmas Tree Association is.
Yes, oh gosh, yes, thank you so much. It's very exciting. We will be putting a Christmas tree, the Christmas Tree, Allegheny Christmas Tree Association and the high school vocational department has come together. We're going to have a Christmas tree downtown that is going to be, gosh, once it's in the ground, probably taller than 15 feet. It's going to be beautiful. We're excited about it. A lot of volunteers included in that, a lot of donations. So I think it'll be beautiful right downtown for everyone to go by and see. So, yeah, looking forward to, again, just trying to keep the Christmas spirit alive.
Anybody else have anything you'd like to ask, Lisa? Lisa, thank you for your, ingenuity and creativity and all this stuff.
Well,
Again,
it
you
takes
said
a
it.
village. It takes a village for sure.
It is a trying time and unprecedented times, and we have come up with some good ideas and try to continue things on. And again, the welfare of the people is number one. So we encourage everybody to do what they deem necessary for their safety at all times. And thank you so much for giving us that rundown here tonight. We appreciate that.
Sure, it'll be at 2 o'clock here.
2 o'clock. Thank you.
Floats will need to be there lining up at 1 o'clock, and it'll run from 2 to 3:30. And if I can just take 1 second, I'd like to thank, as from the Chamber of Commerce and as the director, would like to thank the town and your support always in whatever we do. And I want to say a special thank you to Ryan as the new town manager, and his crew have been exceptionally helpful in a lot of decision making that we've had to make with things in town, with a lot of repairs to our building. Lots going on. We like to bend our ear, and you all have been extremely helpful. And I just want to say how much I appreciate your support at the chamber.
And we appreciate what you did for the ribbon cutting at the ceremony up there too. And,
Really nice.
it was a good turnout for that. And I know that several businesses really benefited that day from our ribbon cutting.
They did. A lot of them saw a huge increase in sales that day. The rain, of course, hit us later that evening, kind of put a little damper, no pun intended on things, but they all reported a huge increase from, what they've seen this year, and even some had doubled from last year around this time. So they were very pleased with the outcome. We continue to look for different ways to market our town, market our county as a whole. We have a lot to offer. And one more quick update is that in December, Allegheny County will have a full page ad in our state magazine. We did receive a $15,000 and a $10,000 grant to do marketing for Allegheny County and for Sparta, North Carolina. So you'll see that in the December issue, and also some online articles and advertisements from Visit NC, all with those grants. So I'll keep you all updated and send some links to you so you can view that when it comes online.
Thank you.
Has there been any talk about businesses staying open for Sparta Lights tree lighting?
Yep, and we are gathering that information now. We put out a survey to all the businesses yesterday. We hope to have all those results back tomorrow, what their hours are going to be, if they're extending those hours. A lot of them are extending them through the holidays, all the way up through to Christmas. So we'll have that information and be able to post it on our Facebook page, on our website. A lot of them are doing some online shopping opportunities for people who don't feel, safe to go out. So we're, again, just trying to be very creative and help our businesses survive through all this. And it's not easy for them, and so we're just doing what we can.
Thank you, Lisa.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Thank you. While we're still here in public comments, I'm going to ask Tom Zach if Tom will come up. Tom has requested to speak, so we'll let him speak so he doesn't wait any longer.
I thank you for this opportunity. By the way, the Halsey Street Speedway is just as fast as ever, and I'd like you all to know that. Several months ago, y'all voted to limit it to 2 axles on that street, and then you rescinded it. And the previous town manager said, well, after streetscape was finished, then you would put it back in place. Well, so far it hasn't happened. Now, should you do put that back in place, would that exclude vehicles towing trailers with 1, 2, and 3 axles? Because now you're going to have 3, 4, and 5 axles coming on that street. That's something for all to decide. Also, the bypass where it meets 18. There have been several accidents there. Had one there just recently, and y'all were talking about putting maybe speed bumps or rumble strips, what have you there. Whatever you do there, could you please do it to Halsey Street? Because maybe that'll slow them down. And I was speaking to the police chief about a radar gun, handheld radar gun, and he said the cost would be about $3,000. Well, if you park in my driveway, you can pay for that thing in 2 to 3 weeks. Not to mention all the roads coming to town at 20 miles an hour. Nobody goes 20 miles an hour. Town could make a fortune on that. Just for your own information. I'm just curious, and would y'all have any comments on that?
Well, I just think it's something that we look into and see what our options are on that. Ryan, do you have anything?
I don't, me and Chief Lane will get together, look at kind of some budgetary constraints and opportunities, to getting that, if he deems that necessary equipment. I think council, can reevaluate the 2-axle. I will do some research and get some best practices from DOT and, surrounding municipalities, and, we'll evaluate that.
Because at present, the radar system the police department has to be pointing at the vehicle. So the police chief, I've seen him parked in my neighbor's driveway. But the minute the cars come off of 18, they see him and they slam on their brakes. So I don't think he's getting very many that way. But if he had a handheld radar gun in my driveway, he'd make a fortune.
Yeah, the only bad thing is whenever somebody sees a police car, they automatically hit the brakes. It don't matter if they got radar or not, they automatically hit it. So you're the first house there coming off of 18.
They won't see it. They won't see his police car because of my equipment in my yard. Thank you.
We are going to continue to monitor that and try to get something done in that area.
Okay, appreciate it.
Of course, DOT is in charge of the intersection down here at 18 and the bypass. So that's their work, not the towns. So we don't put the strips in, and we don't do that. That's a DOT thing. Now that's something that we have to look at Halsey Street as a council government officials. But we haven't forgot you.
Okay.
And we're going to continue working on that. Now, I know the chief has been over there, and his officers have been over there. And since the street has opened, can you tell a difference in traffic?
Not much. Apparently, all these people learned the route from 21 to 18 through Halsey Street from the detour. And yes, there is a little less traffic, but still more than what it was before the detour.
All right, we'll keep monitoring and see what's going on there, Mr. Zach. We appreciate your diligence in that. We appreciate you bringing it back to our attention. Thank you.
Thank you.
While we're still in public comments, is there anybody else that would like to come to the podium at this time? You can come on up. Just give the council your name and know what's going on. Okay, there you go, bro.
How you doing, Wes?
Well, I'm doing good.
All right.
We're Vietnam vets here in our community. We appreciate your service to our country.
My name is Gregory Plain. I live at 980 North Main Street across from B&T. We have a problem I would like to address with you folks, see if we can get some help for it, is the people that speed out there on the road coming down 21 from the north through town and going back out the other way. Now, we've talked to some state troopers out there. They say they clock people at 75 miles an hour. And it's, we have two mentally disabled boys that live next door to us. And they're out there free to walk around to whatever they want to do. I'm afraid one of them's going to get out in the street. And they've got some dogs and cats and all that kind of stuff too. Anyway, if there's anything the town council can do for us to help us, we would appreciate it.
Where'd you say you were located at?
980 North Main. It's the white house with the rock wall around it. And there's a red house right beside it, the little farm back.
Just right there by B&T Tire, right?
Right across from
Right across
B&T.
from B&T Tire.
First house you come to as you go down the hill, going north on 21.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Eugene Higgins, Will Farmer.
I have a friend here with me named Dina, and she would also like to speak to you about this. That's all right.
Yeah, bring her on up.
All right. Dina?
Hi.
Come
on, stand over here.
here.
There you
I have pulled out of this driveway many times. And to the north, if I see a car coming across that hill, I assume that I have time to get onto the highway. Several times, I've barely gotten out of the driveway and onto Road 21, when that car that I saw way up there slammed this close to me. That's happened several times. Also, I have slowed down, to make my turn into the driveway 980. And I have had several vehicles, again, just slamming up to me, blowing their horns, gestures. I can't tell you how it makes me feel to think that I have to pull out into a driveway and risk my life. And I mean, we all know everybody's life matters. But I'm worried about the children next door. I love them, and they're not, they have a lot of problems. A lot of times there's no one home there. The grandmother works and the mother works. There's no father. And they've attached themselves to me, and I'm trying to take care of them, but they can wander away. And it's a bad situation. I have personally spoken to 6 state troopers. I've been told that they have stopped someone at 75 miles an hour. I've also talked to the city police several times. And now I see one. Sometimes there is a trooper, which I understand the state troopers are working outside the 35-mile-an-hour zone limit, but nevertheless, I see a trooper or a city policeman, and they park at across the B&T, and I know this because I have flowers and stuff outside, and I'm outside a lot at when it's dark, and so the troopers and the policemen, and I can't say who is which and which is what, but they pull in at B&T, and most times their running lights are on. The little yellow lights are on. And so I'm looking at the cars going this way, and it's dark. And as soon as they see the little yellow lights, they go. So I don't know what the answer is to this, but I'm begging someone, please, to enforce that 35-mile-an-hour zone, because 75 is just too fast. And the noise also is deafening. And they need to be there during morning and evening rush hours. The middle of the day is not so dangerous, but I never thought I would be standing spilling myself out to you like this, but I'm genuinely afraid. I'm afraid for myself. I'm afraid for Captain Gregory. I'm afraid for those children and the dog. I don't.
Dina,
I'm not a beggar, but I'm begging you all, please do something. Thank you very much.
Dina, can I have the podium a minute? I have a suggestion.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Before I moved to Sparta, I lived in Winchester, Tennessee. And there was a strip of like this thing out of here, this road that we're talking about, where they put these signs up. There was a blinking sign. It had a radar in it to detect your speed. It wasn't connected to any cameras to take pictures of people speeding. But that slowed people down. It would say what the speed limit was. It would show you what your speed was. And that did slow the people down. So if there could be one of those at each end of it, I think that would work. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Well, we will definitely, have to look into the situation here, and of course, she's talking with the chief right now. State troopers, of course, have jurisdiction anywhere on any kind of state road or county road or anything like that. They can do whatever they need to do. Our jurisdiction runs to the edge of the city limits there. We have a mile that we can go out a little bit further. But I think our guys will be, out there as far as that. And then Halsey Street, as you see, we've got several issues right here in our small town, the intersections of 18 and Halsey Street and speeders out that way. So, for those that are watching, if you're out here and you're speeding, I suggest that you might want to slow it down because things are going to tighten up.
That sounds good to me.
We'll see what we can do, Greg. We appreciate you bringing it to our attention. And we'll see what we can do.
All right, sir. Thank you very much, all of you.
Can I say something again? Going along with this gentleman, Halsey Street's supposed to be 25 miles an hour. No way, God's creation. There's the sign right there, but there's a humongous pine tree in front of the sign. Maybe people can't see that. Maybe if that tree was trimmed, it just comes out almost into the road. And maybe if that tree was trimmed, maybe people would slow down. But I like his idea with the radar showing up on a sign. They've got a lot of those down in Matthews where my daughter lives. And you do slow down and then you see that sign to see if you're doing what the speed limit says. And that I think would be a pretty inexpensive alternative.
We'll definitely look at our options and see what we can come up with and see what's going on, okay? There's not a whole lot we can do right now as far as tonight.
Yes,
So
sir.
let us see what we can do. Our manager will work with our chief of police.
Find out what one of those signs are.
And like I say, we'll get some numbers together and try to give you an update or something here in the next little while.
Thank you very much.
Be all right?
Yes, appreciate everybody's attention.
That's the problem.
Thank you, guys.
I know you do.
Anybody else have anything else for public comments at this time?
You're good and happy too.
If not, we will close our public comment section. And we'll move on to agenda item number 5 on the agenda is a zoning enforcement officer ordinance consideration, Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Council before you tonight is just a small change to the zoning enforcement officer ordinance for the town. This is merely to match the ordinance with practice. We have a position inside the town office staff that oversees this process, and this gives him the authority to carry out that task. So I'm requesting.
Is him or the office?
It will be him. It will be a designee. So in the event this employee leaves, as the town manager, I could find another designee. So it is a position that we're designating. It's not certainly a new part, a specific individual.
This is just a clerical change,
It is.
so you need a
I
motion.
need a motion I need action to change that order.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
A motion is second. Any discussion? Show of hands in favor of changing that, 4-0. And as we go to agenda item number 6, we also have a sidewalk ordinance consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. With the successful completion of streetscape and trying to infuse and build off of that project and some opportunity that I perceive that the project has brought to the town. Current ordinance as it stands makes it essentially illegal for anything to be placed on the walking area of the sidewalk. That was back when sidewalks were probably 5 feet in diameter. I think streetscape immensely changes that. we have spots that are between 10 and 14 feet wide. So the first item of business would be to change that ordinance to allow things to be placed on the sidewalk by merchants. In doing so, I believe we create the need to have an ordinance that regulates what can be placed on the sidewalk in what area to safety standards and to provide some oversight to the merchant so that it's consistent, standards, safe, and really take some obligation off of the town for liability should a merchant put something out there and someone gets injured. So the ordinance before you outlays that very clearly of what space can be utilized, the parameters inside that space for it has to be removable, it can't be a permanent fixture, and it is a proactive approach to allowing our merchants to open their doors and display some of their merchandise or decorate, which I believe is an inviting space for pedestrian traffic. In reaching out to West Jefferson and Blowing Rock and some other municipalities, we would be the first to kind of allow that. And I think that is a good economic tool for our merchants to utilize. With that, I'll answer any questions. Hopefully you've had time to review it, but I'll be glad to entertain any questions and try to answer those.
Biggest one, I mean, with this taking place, there's obviously going to be plenty of room for wheelchair to get by in any section of the sidewalk.
The 7 feet does meet ADA compliance. We compared it with that, and it will allow for even social distancing in the community now.
So we need to scrap the old and get the new. That's what we need to do.
In my opinion, I think saying that merchants can't display anything and really they can't put a mum out on the sidewalk by the way that the current ordinance is written, I think it is to our advantage to allow that and provide some oversight.
So did you consider who submits the plans, where they submitted to?
We did, and received some feedback. The merchant has to file an application with the town for providing all their information, any kind of licenses they have to receive. Then they have to detail the plan for the space. We had some input as far as who reviews those plans. And inside that, the zoning enforcement officer is only looking for an ordinance violation. And he is comparing it to this ordinance and any other town ordinance to make sure that they're not violating anything. So to take out the ambiguity, we left it with the zoning officer to make that decision. And then if the applicant is not happy with that, they can appeal directly to the town council for approval. And this council has final say of what you will or will not allow.
I like the idea of it. I think a lot of people walking down the street don't know what's in the store. And there's a lot of people in the county that don't know what our stores carry. And that just gets them in the store and spending money. So if you need that, make a motion to approve.
Second. Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Show of hands, please, to adopt that 4-0.
I originally thought we might want to wait because it's cold weather, but Christmas season coming on, I think it's a good time to do this.
We've had some warm weekends and stuff.
And there is a lot more foot traffic.
As we go on to agenda item number 7, our Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services funding opportunities as arose.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Council, before you you have a service agreement. This service agreement essentially provides the town through our extension office locally applied for grant funding for farmer market operators and food bank status. The Department of Agriculture received some state funding of coronavirus money and then made that available to the farmers market. We applied, received $3,000 for improvements to the actual infrastructure or the delivery of service. This service agreement entered in the town and Jill Crocker, which is the local foods coordinator, through the extension office of Allegheny and Ash. And she would essentially complete work expending the $30,000. If the project were to go over that, she would have to come back to the council for approval. You guys could decide and prioritize what projects need to be done. She does have to submit all invoices, receipts, and a plan of work prior to effecting any change to the farmer's market. She has until December 30th of 2020 to complete this project.
So what do you need, a motion?
I need a motion to approve this service agreement.
Also, we need a motion for a line item budget. To put it in the budget.
And Peggy,
I'll make that
motion.
motion. Can we combine that in the same motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
A motion and a second, any discussion? Show of hands in favor. Go roll on that. Before we go into the manager's report, I just want to, the council has got the financial report in front of you. Is there any questions about the finances or anything? While we have Peggy here, do you have any questions about anything? The only question I have, Peggy, is have we received any of our CARES money that we've been entitled to from the state?
No,
From the
not this
county.
time.
So the county has not given us our CARES money?
No.
And the other thing I want to bring out is, vehicle taxes.
No, we haven't received any vehicle tax for this year.
For this year?
When do we normally receive?
We receive it once a month.
Do we know when we're gonna?
I don't know when we're gonna receive it. Haven't been told.
When was the last payment we received from vehicle taxes?
June, for the month of June.
So you don't know any reason why they do just holding on to that money?
They short staffed, my understanding, but they haven't told me when we will get our share of it.
So maybe we might want to make an inquiry?
We have.
I think the inquiry they made, I was hoping that we had something done this week, so.
Okay.
Is it having a major effect on us?
It's just good that we get the money for audit purposes.
Right.
Because sometimes when you get behind, you can't reconcile. But they are short-handed there.
Just for the council's, knowledge that we have had, a meeting already with the county manager and the chairman. So hopefully we can get this going on. I was hoping that we had it in already by this week. I was hoping that we had some kind of
I haven't received anything.
check in the mail, but okay, so we'll get back on that. Didn't want to go off too much there. So anyway, Mr. Manager, you got a report there for us. Go ahead with your manager's report, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Council, just prior to the meeting, I gave you kind of a recap of town-specific earthquake-related damages, costs, opportunities. I apologize for not getting that to you sooner, but some of it came to fruition today. We have received from the Office of State Budget and Management funds kind of on the front end to assist us as we're repairing and paying for repairs to the infrastructure. We received that about 2 weeks ago in the amount of $150,000. Of that, we've identified $50,000 needs to go to the general fund to cover costs such as cemetery, and then the town hall and the Chamber of Commerce property. $100,000 of that needs to be put into wastewater and water treatment line for our initial response to the incident, which was some water breaks, the staff to fix that. And then you'll see that we have an ongoing collection system issue. We're noticing significant backup on a regular basis in areas that historically have not been problematic. We've noticed some sewer pipe has actually ended up in the wastewater treatment facility. So those are signs that we have some issues. Fortunately, we were very reactive. We have engaged an engineer to evaluate our system, to identify those areas, and then he will be formulating a plan of action for that. So that $100,000 kind of starts that process. There is more money available as we need it. So I don't feel that the town will have to come out of pocket for any of that up front. The guys at office and state budget management have been very open to meeting our needs and giving us money to maintain that healthy cash flow. So as part of that initial $150,000, we do need action by the council to put $50,000 in the general fund and $100,000 into water and sewer.
Okay, I'm okay.
Second. Motion and a second, any discussion? Show of hands, please. In favor, 4-0 on that.
Before we move on, any questions on earthquake related damage or process? We feel strongly that process is well underway, and we should have some pretty definitive answers to the sewer issue in short order, which I will provide you guys an update to that.
Are there any ideas of where the breakages are?
We do have some guesses. Obviously, we can't see that, but based on the manhole damage, we can associate that it's probably in this Little River area. So I know that's a broad area, but it is in this end of the town that we feel is where the issue lies.
And any idea when repairs would be?
The engineer is drafting that proposal. We will have to smoke test the system that we think is damaged. That is step one. Once we get the results of that, we will then have a very clear picture where to start some further investigation and repair.
And will there be any disruptions to customers?
The customers will know when we're smoke testing. We will try to send out a Blackboard Connect call to all customers. Of course, if they have any leaks or disruptions in their system and we smoke test, then it's going to come up in their house, out in their front lawn, etc. So we want everybody to be aware of that. Until we know the definitive problems, I can't really project.
So when are you projecting to do this one fit?
Hopefully within the next 2 weeks.
Okay, could we get some kind of article in the paper about it? So people
Sure.
would know?
Sure. Okay. And again, I think doing the Blackboard across the board is letting everybody get it by email, phone, or text message is going to help too. And let
I
everybody
just
know
think
that
the more
Yeah, oh, yeah.
information gets out there.
we'll announce that on our mayor manager show also and do
I
that.
think we got the phone for each other, no?
Yeah. Blackboard.
Okay. Last piece of the earthquake, obviously from what you guys heard from the state budget management folks, there are individuals in our community that are currently displaced from their homes or will be temporarily as repairs are made to those homes. So to house them temporarily while those repairs are being performed, there has been a plan to provide temporary housing at the campground, at the campsites there just adjacent to 21. Inside that, we already have water infrastructure out there and power. With the possibility of 10+ families living in that area, there does become a need to put sewer infrastructure. So those folks at disaster recovery reach out, ask the town to evaluate that possibility, that project. It was initially a project that our team thought that we could do, and we quickly realized that's just a little more advanced and the timeline that needs to be completed. So today, we met, finalized that plan with an engineer and a contractor. The state folks are agreeable to pick up that tab. There is a contract for the project, since that sewer system will inherently become part of the town's infrastructure. It will be a contract for the county because it's county property, the town because it's town assets, and the state is paying. So in preparation of that contract coming and needing to act quickly to get this project started, I'm requesting that the council approve to allow the mayor or myself to sign that contract. There is no cost to the town. There is really no obligation, and it is necessary for that temporary housing to proceed out there.
Where's this at?
The campground's right there on this side of the creek.
I've been a big advocate of, before we put any sewer out in city limits, that they have to be part of town sport. I'm sorry, that's just the way I feel about it all along. Our town hadn't been able to grow because the annexing law for where they are now. If we put sewer out there, that's not, I feel like that's not what we need to do.
It's just gonna be in the campground, the fairgrounds.
Right, and it is an expensive system. And to my,
Question.
Go ahead.
Does the county pay for the sewer stuff?
yes, just as they do
Do
water,
we set that rate?
we do, just as they do water currently. They will have to pay for sewer disposition.
So actually, who would it be in that area to annex that area? How, the town limits are almost out there now, right?
Town limit stops right there at B&T Tire.
So we're only talking about a quarter mile?
There is sewer infrastructure that's already out there. We're tapping into an existing system. It actually goes up past the Higgins building.
I guess my question was in relation to Mike. Mike and I are in agreement on this. Who would have to ask to be annexed? And they have to ask. Sure. Who would have to be asked to annex to extend the town line past the fairground?
All those citizens in that home, from B&T Tire all the way up to the
But
fairgrounds.
how far out would it go? In other words, you're not talking about both sides, you're talking about, basically, who are you talking about? Talking about the fairgrounds, which is a county.
Correct.
You're talking about, Marjorie Armendrive's old house, Irwin, owns it. And whoever got that building for sale there from Texas. Well, no, it goes up past that, doesn't it?
Charles Jones.
No, it goes past.
Yeah, that goes up. What is the name?
You don't have to.
Green Needles Lane.
Yeah.
Green Needle line that goes up to there.
Well, I know that, but what I'm saying is, if you did one side of the road and you only extended it out deep enough to catch the fairground,
No, infrastructure's already there.
I'm not talking about infrastructure.
He's just talking about annex.
I'm talking about
Just
annexation.
said we can't do that because of state regulation.
Right,
Those
they-
folks have to-
But if the county asked for it,
Sure.
If those citizens ask for it.
and the citizens in that area agree to it, which would be mainly Irwin and the town limits, I'm thinking the town limits go out past, where is that? Right far in.
It's right
It's
there.
right there at the B&T GMB Energy. Right there.
Right there.
That's where it's, that's where the line's for.
Is there not further than that?
No.
That guy from Texas would have to agree. But if you only went 100 yards deep, I mean, I'm saying you only deal with about 4 or 5 people. And I do agree we want to get the sewer out there. I mean, especially if that state's gonna pay for it. But I do agree with Mike that if we're ever going to annex anything, the water and sewer is the way to do it.
We've in the past there, we've had a lot of people who've asked for sewer and water. And to me, that's the only way I'll agree to it there, pay.
How
State
soon
will
do
be
you
annexed.
expect this contract to need to sign?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
How long does the sewer line run out of City Limits that way?
It runs up past the Higgins building up the hill, almost to
It's
the
almost
crest. of the hill.
Salt Creek Road.
Yeah.
It's nothing there.
So what are we adding?
We're adding
Just campsites.
campsite sewer connection.
We're tapping onto it. They're tapping onto it.
That's all we're doing is tapping on the.
What's gonna be the outcome if we don't?
They can't do temporary housing.
So people displaced are gonna be hurt.
Correct. Now, I will say, to Mike and John's point, the scale of project that's going in would allow us to more realistically annex and provide service efficiently out there. Just by the way the current infrastructure sits. It runs all over the fairgrounds, way behind the creek, and it's hard. This system can be easily tapped from the other side of 21 by the way it's designed. So that gives us the whole other side to look at for economic development if that
Okay, so
opportunity
what we're
arises.
talking about with this contract
Yes,
is tapping on.
fairgrounds only.
We're not actually putting any sewer lines. Well, I still want to look at, just like with Mike, I still want to look at either asking the county to look at, asking to be annexed out that way, or seeing what it would entail, who all it would involve to do, even if it's just one side of the road.
Do we have an option if we did this and we have a clause that we shut that system off if we don't get it annexed?
Yes, we own the infrastructure. Once it's in the ground, it's ours, and we can do whatever we need to do.
So,
So I mean, we could put it in and we could still have leverage to do that.
Sure.
Mike, you live with it?
And then the people who are displaced have a place to stay.
Correct.
Now, remember guys, we've got a water line that runs from the Nile Road all the way up through Twin Oaks, all the way up the mountain out there. And we also have customers on that line that pay water bills. So again, we're getting revenue off of that. Same concept with the sewer line as they tapping into that.
I'll go along with giving y'all permission to sign this contract. I would also like to talk to the county or talk to somebody about, looks like Cole said, that this is not necessarily a permanent hookup. Will that mess up the contract?
It should be a permanent hookup.
I don't think it would. I think as long as we make it available for the duration of recovery, then we have met our contractual obligation. Obviously, Whitney will review this contract before anybody signs it. But
I think you should make it plain to the county, because what I see the county wanting to do is having that hookup for when they have events there, they can rent those things out, that kind of stuff. That it's not going to be a permanent thing unless they do something for us.
Because the county would pay us a flat fee.
whatever the water usage is.
I don't want a flat fee right there.
Well, and that's what I'm saying.
We can do this for this one-time thing, or we can give them some temporary housing, but, in order for us to furnish the water and sewer out there, we're gonna have to have some annexation.
So I'd be fine with doing this to help these people
To meet an emergency.
out. And then,
To get the state help, this is the only way we're gonna get the state help.
Yeah.
This is the only way.
but then after this is done, I mean, we can cut that off and say, hey, you.
Okay.
But the system would be in the ground for future considerations.
I just seen, I've lived here all my life, and I've seen too much. Everybody, if they want water, they run them out of town there, and no problem, and we can't grow that way. I mean, everybody else is, same people paying taxes here in town. Taxes, everything keeps going up, and we can't grow. So we're gonna have to do something, we're gonna have some kind of leverage.
Yeah, so, I mean, as long as we make that motion, again, at the end of the emergency services that it's gonna be used for.
Well, that would be an understanding.
Then I'll make that motion.
I'll say.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Show of hands to approve.
With the understanding of what we're talking
You got that, Mr. Davis? You got all that?
Okay. Remember one thing there's nothing to do.
All right. Next up, is just for your general information. I don't think any action is needed at this time. We're gonna evaluate unless you guys want to take action. So BB&T has been acquired by SunTrust, now doing business as Truist. As part of that, BB&T did provide retirement services for the town, very successfully, from what I understand. Truist, as a new organization, is not providing retirement services. So they are essentially giving our retirement accounts and services to a census that will take our plans on, manage those, and provide service. From what Peggy and I understand of it, nothing is going to change with how we invest, the service expectations, or any of the plan details.
And the fee will not increase.
Well, but have you gotten much information yet?
They will be sending out more information the first of the year.
Okay, so as you get more information, maybe bring that back to us.
Okay.
Certainly. Any additional questions on that? I'm gonna let,
Mike, you wanna go ahead and talk about Krause Park?
Yeah, just a little bit about Krause Park here. We, can't remember last time we had a meeting, I think it was last month right there. We Playground equipment is being installed. Is, I don't know if they got finished up there yet or not.
They will be finished by the end of the week.
Some of the grant money there that we got goes for that and different projects. But I was wanting to put in some trees in front of the Kraus house, and it's said there that we need to wait till the fall. Well, it's the fall, and we need to put some trees in the ground. And that's not part of the grant.
What kind of tree?
Well, we figured probably just maple. I mean, we looked at several different kinds of maple. They grow pretty fast and they got good shade. And we want
What's the projected cost?
Well, I think you gonna check on that.
Yeah. For a mature maple, which is average 10 to 12 feet tall, it'll be rooted in. It's $100 per tree.
So how many you want to get?
I think that in the beginning that Scott Smith there, or he's the one that was looking at there, he got 3 big enough trees. And we thought we'd start out with 3 trees.
So you need a budget amendment to do that, or?
No, we can take it from recreation. We don't need a budget
There is money
amendment.
in
We just need
recreation.
probably just approval from you all to,
So I'd make a motion to approve the 3 trees to start with.
And I mean, maybe later on we can get some more, but we're gonna get something that's bigger tree to start off with.
So I have a motion to approve the 3 trees. Do I have a second? All in favor, show of hands.
And also, on the lighting right there, I had a request from Charlie. The big trees there next to the stage there, we're gonna be using it for the lighting there. They want to put some lights up in the trees. And I don't see any problem there with it.
So go ahead, that'd be fine.
I'll probably bring it up to the council, but I think that'd be fine, Charlie. We'll do that. And I'd like to thank Ryan for revamping the parking lot out behind the buildings, the Horizon Bistro and that parking lot there behind those set of buildings. Ryan went in there with his staff and crew there, and they cleaned up all the old beds, flowers and stuff that was in there, and reworked the
Looks good.
And I want to commend you. You done a good job. Didn't cost much money. We just need the extra parking, and hopefully in the future there that we can go across the street and put that parking lot to use here on these days.
Nice playing there.
Do what?
Park all across the street, that'd be nice to get that played.
Oh, yeah. Maybe,
Big
get
parking lot.
a pedestrian crosswalk put in there, somewhere later on there. So thank you, Ryan.
Thank the town guys that they worked hard on that, and I think they actually enjoyed doing that project. They got to destruct and then reconstruct. It was therapeutic for us.
That was instant results.
Yeah. Mr. Mayor, before we move on from that, just one other item of business on the playground equipment. That playground revitalization, whatever you want to term it, was part of the grant. It does include 5 new structures that are mostly complete, like Mike said. They will be done by the end of the week. That was about 50% of the grant funding that we received. In totality, we received $194,572 grant for that project. So we're about 50% complete as far as budget is concerned. I had a conversation with the part of rep for our region. We done our annual inspection. We're moving along at a desirable pace on that project. We've completed the land acquisition from the BDC, which you guys remember the town purchased that, placed it in the BDC name for matching of the FARF grant. So you effectually turned 86,000 into 195,000. I think that makes good sense on your part, but we are moving along well. Now, a part of that project that was not part of the budget was the fall area. We had sand out there. Sand compacts, it doesn't provide any kind of fall protection, and our liability carrier just didn't love it. So the people that are installing the playground equipment actually extended us kind of their bulk rate for mulch to go in that area at a very reasonable price that we couldn't get anywhere else. He also stated that the finish of the playground equipment would not hold up as long with sand. It is abrasive. Kids get on their feet, they crawl on the equipment, the wind, etc. So we do have an opportunity.
What kind of mulch?
It's special playground mulch. And believe it or not, it has to be some kind of.
What kind of deal did you get?
We got, I can tell you specifically. It is a tandem truckload. It is tractor trailer. It is, let's see. 100 cubic yards of mulch, for $13.50 a yard. So
Give me a number.
$13.50 or $1,350 to mulch the entire area.
$1,400 we get all mulch.
Yeah,
Is there money available for that?
Yes, sir.
and I will approve 9
Do
inches.
you need a motion to approve that?
I don't, I just wanted your consensus to make sure that's the direction we wanted to go.
What's the life on that?
Mulch.
I mean, that's. All reality, I mean, it's, you know, well, we're gonna have to replace.
I thought you was gonna flip the sand.
Yeah. I was gonna go out and rake it every morning on that day. Unfortunately, that fell through. Honestly, I'm not sure. I know it is kind of rubberized mulch, so it should be,
So it's
longevity.
multi-years.
Yes. I don't think it will be
Tire stuff,
80.
I thought.
And that's what I'm saying. I mean, that's
I
like
think it's
10
that
years.
tire stuff, if that's it will last longer than I do.
Right.
So that's a heck of a deal, I think, as far as.
And then on top of that, to protect the investment of the mulch, the guy recommended putting the plastic timbers around the perimeter of the play area. That way the mulch doesn't run off or get dispersed all over the park. And that would be an additional $2,700 on top of the mulch fee.
So we're looking at $1,500? No, we're looking at
$4,800.
$4,800. So that's a little different than $1,300. So
We got it.
we got it?
It's in the budget.
Okay, I'll make the motion to do it.
You need a motion or just a consensus?
If you guys want to take action, that will make me feel
So I
good
have,
about it.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Show of hands in favor of the rubber mulch. 4-0.
Last item, I'll keep very brief. Annually, we have to wash down the sewer plant, where the sludge is stored. Then we then take that and have it applied to a local farm. As part of that process, it's more than a water hose. get that job done. And Laurel Springs provided an engine and a couple of personnel, to do that service. They did not ask for any money for that service, but they were on site about 5 hours, made multiple trips over to the pump station to fill their engine up. And I would request a donation be made to Laurel Springs in the amount of $500 for that service.
That's one thing I want to say, we're sorry Sparta couldn't do it, but at the same time, we had a big structure fire around Ball Road, we done there between 4 and 5 hours that morning. That's the reason we couldn't do ourselves.
Make the motion.
Y'all were high up.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second, all in favor, show of hands. And we do appreciate not only the Laurel Springs Fire Department, but all of our fire departments across the county that do a great job. Now, I heard today on the scanner, I just want to give a shout out to all of our emergency personnel. At one time, every unit was tied up doing something. Whether it be a fire, whether it be on a rescue mission, whether it be called out on standby or whatever, the radio was humming today and everybody was working voluntarily to provide emergency services across this county. And that speaks volume of the kind of people that we have, not only in Sparta, but Allegheny County. And I just want to say thank you to all the firemen, all those rescue personnel. I mean, in our police department, one was on one end of the town and the other was on the other side, and you got people going across. Oh my gosh. But anyway, anything else there, Mr. Mayor?
Mayor, that's all.
This time we'll discuss any other business that needs to be brought up. Does anybody else have anything on their mind?
I wanted to ask Bob. Talk about Law having so much trouble there with speeding and different things, different parts. Would larger signage help on anything? I know we got an ordinance about jake brakes. Well, I can't see as good as I used to, but there's a little bitty sign right there coming into town.
Now, on those signs, that might, larger signs might help.
And we talked about down here at the section of 18 and Sparta Parkway about putting up bigger signage to stop and have flashing lights there on the sign.
They put up bigger signs.
There are bigger deer around. Well, I haven't been through there lately. When was it put up?
It's been about 2 weeks.
It's pretty visible at night.
You're going the wrong way, Mike.
I've been enjoying going through town.
But you have noticed the DOT sign here about no trucks, right?
I did see
So
that.
DOT has put a
But
sign.
they have, lots of time the trucks don't pay no attention to it.
Now, DOT regulates the size of the signs. Also, they go on US 21.
I would like to check and see about a speed thing. I don't know what they call it,
The radar light.
but a flashing sign, because they do help. So,
That's those portable ones right there. That's ones I see.
yeah, they're
You
portable.
put them around.
I'd just like to see what one costs.
Sure.
They run about $4,500. I'm already doing contacts with them.
Oh, Lordy. Hey, find us some money.
Find you some money. Okay.
We'll put a hitch on Chief Charger too, so they can pull it.
All right,
Okay.
that's all I've got.
I'm gonna open it up right now for final public comments. If anybody would like to come out and they can talk about anything that you need to, anybody else that would like to come out for a public comment. Being no movement, we'll close the public comment opportunity. At this time, I want to wish everyone out there watching a happy Thanksgiving. This is a time to be thankful. Thankful for all of our people in our community that make a difference. Be with your loved ones during Thanksgiving. Give thanks. Protect yourself at all times, folks.
Wear your mask.
And do what you need to do to protect yourselves at all times. We live in a great community, proud to be here, proud to be a part of this. Our elected officials are here, they work for you. We are here to make a difference. We will make a difference. As we get ready, we'll come back, we'll go back to our regular scheduled meeting in December, which will be the first Tuesday in December at 7 o'clock here in the conference room. There being no further business, entertain a motion to adjourn with a motion. And a second. Now, a second, all in favor, show of hands. We adjourn to our December meeting.
Yeah.
They go on recommendation. We got it. Recommendation.
All right.